All right, so I wanted to talk about the PSVR 2. Obviously, it's Sony's next big push in the VR landscape, and there's a lot of people excited about it, myself included. However, I would be lying if I said that I wasn't concerned. Let's talk about it. Okay, so first let's get some of the positive stuff out of the way before I dive into my hypothetical concerns. The PSVR 2 is going to be a major upgrade from its original headset that launched in 2016. It'll have a higher resolution, better FOV, and you no longer need to rely on a breakout box or even a tracking camera or recycled Move controllers because the PSVR 2 is going to have full inside-out tracking. A very welcome upgrade. And while these are all welcome additions to the new headset, they're somewhat expected upgrades. What's really got me excited is some of the stuff that we aren't going to see on other mainstream headsets right now. Firstly, the PSVR 2 is going to have eye tracking. And while developers can utilize eye tracking for a lot of different things, probably the biggest benefit is when it's paired with foveated rendering. To kind of simplify it, foveated rendering is essentially a rendering technique that only fully renders what the player is looking at. And this technique really helps with performance. Having the eye tracking paired with foveated rendering is what's likely going to be the key way to have the PS5 efficiently deliver high-end visuals at higher frame rates, possibly even comparable to what you might see from a modern PC VR title. The other thing I'm really excited for is sort of the extra immersion features really borrowed from the DualSense controller. The controllers and even the headset are supposed to have haptic feedback, and the adaptive triggers that I'm such a big fan of on the DualSense are going to be present on the PSVR 2 controllers as well. All of those features combined, especially with those adaptive triggers, should add an extra layer of immersion that makes things a lot more fun in-game. And according to some of the first-hand experiences from other channels that I've seen, this isn't a gimmick. It really does a good job at delivering an immersive experience. So with all that being said, with how excited I am with the upgrades in the hardware, why am I still a little concerned about the PSVR 2? Well, the truth is I'm more concerned about the long term with this headset. Basically, what is the experience going to be like for the average player once that honeymoon phase has sort of faded? I believe Sony says they have like 20 plus games currently in development for the PSVR 2, but upon further inspection of that, a good chunk of those games are games that are already out on other platforms, and some of them have been out for quite a while. None of this is an issue if you've never played VR before and you're simply just waiting to get the PSVR 2 as your first VR headset. That's great. But if you're already a headset owner and you're just looking forward to see what PlayStation has to bring to the table, well, then you might be disappointed because a lot of these games you potentially played before. I mean, just speaking anecdotally from what I've seen from like the Quest community online, a lot of them are excited to see what PSVR 2 has to offer, but I just really don't want us to run into a situation where we get a couple of really solid first-party stuff out of the gate and then are left waiting forever for another big VR title while we sift through the same games that are on every other VR storefront that we've already played before. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Horizons VR game and Resident Evil Village in VR both seem awesome, and I'm super excited to try them out. I just hope things don't get stale too quickly. And speaking of which, as far as I've seen so far, there's gonna be no PC support for PSVR 2. At least that doesn't involve mods or tinkering and that sort of thing. And if that's the case, it's crucial that Sony really goes all in with support for this platform. Because, you know, if I'm being completely honest, as a lover of the Quest 2, as an avid user of this thing, if it weren't for the ability to do things like side quests, mods, and be able to play PC VR titles as well, there'd be a lot of times where this thing would just be collecting dust due to the sparse content on the platform. I don't know, maybe I'm looking too much into it. I am really excited for the PSVR 2. I don't want this to come across as super negative, but these are things that keep, you know, cycling through the back of my mind. Even though I'm super excited for this headset and I'm excited to try it out, I do just get concerned that after that honeymoon phase has passed, if people are going to get bored quickly or not. But yeah, that's just like my speculation on the whole thing. I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions on this matter in the comments down below. Let me know what your thoughts are on the PSVR 2 right now, what you hope the pricing is going to be, and do you intend to get one yourself? All thoughts and opinions regarding the PSVR 2 I would love to hear in the comments down below. But yeah, that about does it for this one, everyone. Thank you as always for watching the video and checking out the channel. Let us know whether or not you like this type of video by hitting that like or dislike button. Either way, it helps us out a ton. Feel free to hit us up up on any of our social media platforms, including our Discord community server, all linked in the description down below. But yeah, that's enough rambling out of me. Thank you again so much for watching. My name is Blake, and for all things tech, games, to really anything nerdy in between, be sure and subscribe to Digital Cynics. Have a good one, everyone. We'll see you next time.